Good evening. I'm Jacob Bayhall here with my colleague Frankie Lee. We're here at the beautiful stadium field where your Parkersburg Big Reds will be taking on the fourth-ranked Capital Cougars.
It will be a very interesting matchup tonight. The Big Reds started the season dropping the first three games, but after that they managed to get to a 3-3 record, but they've lost two straight games, both being Patriots, one being the Parkersburg South, the crosstown rivals, and George Washington Patriots.
Big key for the Big Reds tonight will be the return of Derek Wenzel, playing in all of his positions, really. He's the punter, kick returner, tailback, quarterback, and plays corner. But PHS will receive the kick where it goes in between Wenzel's leg, picks it up at the 1-yard line, looks for blockers, makes a stiff arm out wide.
And he's still
on his feet. He's got room.
And no one is in front of him.
Sideline.
Derek Wenzel on his first play back from his knee injury scores on the opening kickoff after he fumbled it, picked it up at the 1-yard line and hardly touched after that.
It was a 99-yard kick return by Derek Wenzel. Welcome back, Derek Wenzel. As the Big Reds jump out on the scoreboard first.
Coach Butcher loves to see that, as George Washington Patriots jumped out 7-0 on the opening kickoff last week, and they just routed the PHS 42-14 in last week's domination.
It was going to be interesting to see if PHS changed their offense from the passing attack or to the running game, but we didn't get a chance to see it on that first possession.
And the PAT is good.
And it's your Parkersburg High Big Reds 7, Capital Cougars 0.
It only took the Big Reds 22 seconds to score on the opening kickoff. Derek Wenzel, he only stiff-armed one person. That was the only person that touched him. Looks like all 11 of the Cougars were on him at one point, but he just outran him and found the end zone.
At first, it looked like it was going to be a muffed kick after he let it go in between his legs. After touching it, picked it up the 1-yard line. Capital Cougars closed in, but he was able to find the outside and run up the sideline for the touchdown.
The only people outside of the 30-yard line were two referees that were running downfield. They couldn't even keep up with Wenzel after he got going.
He had a full head of steam, and it was a 99-yard touchdown.
And Butchery is loving Derek Wenzel being back and on the first 22 seconds of the game. Jeff Lance ready to kick the ball. Let's see if Capital can capitalize with a kickoff return here.
It'll be interesting also to see if the Big Red defense steps up, as Capital has a great running back in Keon
Right,
averaging over 100 yards a game rushing.
He's averaging over 6 yards per carry also. Big Reds really need to hold him to under 100 yards tonight, as you heard Coach Butchery say.
Capital receiver takes it up the field. He's got a few blockers, makes it out to about the 35-yard line where the Cougars will take over 1st and 10. Now it's time to see how this Big Red defense can handle this high-scoring Capital Cougar team. The Cougars come in with a 7-1 record.
Ball on the Capital 35.
Handoff goes to the fullback, where he's brought down by number 19.
Looks to be a 2-yard gain.
It'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Big Reds.
Well, the keys for Capital tonight will to run the ball a lot, because PHS has not been too good against the rush the past few games.
Yeah, and plus, as we said, Keon Wright is a big-time rusher. as the Cougars go back under center. Handoff goes to Keon right. Finds some running room.
Almost falls, but he's still going. Runs into his own blocker, and he's brought down around the 50-yard line.
He's brought down by number 3, Corey Osee, a 5'9" sophomore with a nice open field tackle. It was enough for a first down. He'll bring up 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. About a 12-yard pickup on the play. As the Cougars are in shotgun,
It's
they hand it out off wide, but he's PHS defense. Oh,
juking.
He's brought down by number,
I think it was 75, Kyle Smith, maybe?
Yeah. I'll bring up 2nd and 10. Initially, it looked like the Big Reds were going to stop him for a loss, but his termination to get the yardage got him back to the line of scrimmage. Still, bring up 2nd and 10. As the Cougars go back under center with Wright in the backfield. Handoff goes to Wright.
And
Finds some running room, breaks a few
holes.
tackles, gets out wide. Once
he's
again,
brought
taken
down
out of bounds by number 3, Corey Osee.
And he knocked over a coach on the sideline who looks to be down. The coach was hit right in the knees.
It wasn't good from this angle. It looked like his knee buckled. Looks like they're trying to help him up. See if he can get back up to his feet. And he's back up. It is a hard hit out of bounds, and Corey Osee and Wright just collided with the coach. As the Cougars are back under center. Handoff goes to the fullback, number 38, where he trips up. About a pickup of a yard on the play.
Second and 8 with a little over 9 minutes left in play in the first quarter. Ball on the PHS 35.
Looks like early in the game, the Cougars are going to be relying in the I formation, where they'll either hand it off to the running back or fullback. As it gets handed off to Wright, finds a hole outside, breaks a couple tackles, gets down close to the 25-yard line. Looks like he's down at the 26. That's enough for a first down.
Big Reds really need to contain him tonight as he averages over 6 yards a carry.
Bring up another 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
He came into the game tonight with 1,023 yards rushing on the season.
Averaging about 127 yards a game. As the Cougars are back in shotgun. Once again, a man in motion. Handoff goes to Wright. Looks like he's hit and taken down by number 43, Jason Phillips, on the stop. It was reported that Derek Wenzel was going to start all his former positions, but after looking out there, it looks like Steven Roush is still playing at corner, and Wenzel's not out there on defense.
Well, maybe he's really tired after running that 99-yard opening kickoff back.
Of course, as we all know, Wenzel had the knee injury and was out the past 2 weeks. Handoff goes to Wright again. He's got a hole.
And he spins.
He's knocked out of bounds by number 3, Corey Osee, and number 22, Michael Winans. Gets him down to about the 13-yard line, where it will be another first down for the Cougars. Handoff goes to Wright again. Looks for a hole outside, but he's taken down by number 69.
Michael Riblett, senior.
That'll bring up 2nd and 10 and no gain on the play. Big Red defense did a good job of containing Wright on that play. As the Cougars back in shotgun again. And handoff goes to Wright, where he's taken down by number 77.
Justin Johnson.
Big
Josh
loss
Jenkins,
on the play.
little brother.
It's a loss of 5 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 16 for the Cougars. This is a big 3rd down for the Big Red defense. A stop here could force the Cougars into 3 points or even none if they decide to go for it on 4th down.
And it looks like the Cougars will have to attempt their first pass on the night as they've been moving down the field, running the ball very well. But it's 3rd and 16. Little play action, and it's
sets up a screen, but
and he's brought down by multiple Big Red defenders.
He gets down to about the 15-yard line. Picked up about 4 on the play. It'll still bring up 4th and 12. It'll be interesting to see the call for this play, as it'll be about a 28-yard field goal. Looks like they're going to get set up for the field goal. It'll be interesting to see how the Capital Cougars.
It'll be around a 33-yard field goal attempt.
Looks like a timeout by the Capital Cougars. Want to rethink it after seeing how the Big Red defense came out. Well, as the Cougars take a timeout, we'll go ahead and take a timeout along with them and have a few words from our sponsors. And welcome back to Stadium Field, where it's your Parkersburg Big Reds 7, Capital Cougars 0. As the Cougars get lined up to attempt about a 33-yard field goal, Frankie.
There's 5 minutes, 33 seconds left after the Cougar timeout.
The snap's good.
And
the kick's high.
And it falls short. Ball is kicked a little high and didn't have enough arc on it.
It was a good stand by the Big Red defense after returning the kick. Now we'll get our first look at the offense for the Big Reds with starting tailback Derek Wenzel back.
The Big Red seniors would really love to win tonight, as it's their final game here as a Big Red. And they're playing number 4 Capital, and that'd be a big win for them and a big boost of confidence.
Wenzel's in motion. Handoff goes outside to Wenzel. He's taken down, tripped up. Picks up about a yard on the play, maybe. It'll bring up 2nd and 9.
A little over 5 minutes left.
Wenzel ran back the opening kick to boost the Big Reds to the 7-0 lead. As Wes Ankrum split out wide. In motion. Lines up back in the slot.
Chris Rao in motion.
Handoff goes to number 32.
Christian Ong up the middle and doesn't get much.
Another short gain. Picked up about 2 on the play. Bring up 3rd and 6, excuse me, for the Big Reds. As Roush comes back in, it'll be interesting to see if the ball goes out wide to Roush. Roush is a main target for quarterback Nolan.
He has his 2 favorite receivers, Stephen Roush and Wes Ankrum.
Weeks past, we've seen Stephen Roush come up with some big catches, including 11 catches against the Patriots 2 weeks back. In a losing effort, he had over 100 yards receiving, though.
Matt Newland attempted over 40 passes that game, and it's not the usual Big Reds, but with Derek Wenzel back, you should expect to run more.
As they're in shotgun. He finds
and he passes to Ankrum.
Out to about the 40-yard line where it'll be a 1st down.
16-yard gain on the pass.
A good little connection there from Newland to Ankrum. Ankrum, along with Roush, a very big part of this passing attack for the Big Reds. As Roush heads his way up back to the sidelines, and Wenzel comes back in at wingback. Ankrum goes split out wide. Newland doesn't like what he sees from the defense and calls a timeout. Big Reds' first timeout. We'll go ahead and take a timeout along with the Big Reds and get a few words from our sponsors.
And welcome back to Stadium Field, where your Big Reds are leading the Capital Cougars 7-0. Big Reds all bunched up in the middle.
Wenzel in motion. Handoff goes out wide.
Handoff, or pitch up the middle.
Gets out to about the 46-yard line. Be a 6-yard pickup. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Big Reds. Correction, 2nd and 4.
3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Big Reds moving well down the field.
Handoff goes to Phillips up the middle. Gets down, pushes his way for some extra yards. He's taken down at 51-yard line. There's a pickup of 5. That's enough for the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Capital Cougars 48-yard line as the Big Reds march into Cougar territory. So far, the Big Reds have showed a steady diet of running the ball early in the game.
And it's another handoff up the middle.
And it gets out to about the 45-yard line.
Gain of 4.
Be 2nd and 6. Christian Ong on the carry.
Another senior starting for the Big Reds. Ingram's the lone wide receiver.
As he comes back into the slot. Wenzel in motion. Pitch goes out to Wenzel, but he's taken down by the Capital defender, number 35 on the tackle.
It's about the 3rd or 4th time the Big Reds have tried that play, and the Cougars were waiting for it that time. Just under 2 minutes now in the first quarter.
Where it brings up 3rd and 8.
Ball on the Capital 46. And it's a play
Fakes
action.
the handoff. He's got number 89 out. Catches it. He's brought down at about the 33-yard line. That's enough for the first down.
Number 89, Ryan Black on the catch.
He's a tight end. This is the first time I've seen Nolan go to his tight end.
That was a big play for the Big Reds. I think that was their third down conversion.
On this series.
Big Reds moving well down the field this drive.
As the clock continues to dwindle down. Handoff goes to Phillips up the middle. Bounces back outside. Gets down at about the 25-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8. And it'll bring up 2nd and 2 for the Big Reds with just a little over a minute remaining on a running clock.
And that was Chris Rao on the run. Derek Wenzel coming back on the field for Stephen Roush. Chris Rao in motion. It's a handoff to Ong up the middle, the big
Bounces.
fullback.
Gets to about the 20-yard line. That'll be enough for the first down. It'll be about a 5-yard gain for the senior, Ong. As the clock stops for the first down. And the referee signals for the clock to start. With 35 seconds on the clock as it winds down, could anticipate that this may very well be the last play of the quarter for the Big Reds.
Newland under center.
Pitch goes out to number 34.
Oh,
he fumbles it.
Chris Rao fumbles on
Where
the play and
Capital-
it's picked up by the Cougars.
Number 77, he gets out, knocked out at about the 40-yard line. A big turn of events for the Capital Cougars.
Chris Rao was moving the ball down the field, and then that was their first mistake of the night by the Big Reds.
And it proves costly with 9 seconds remaining in the clock.
One of the Capital defenders just got a helmet on the ball, and it popped out and landed right in the hands of one of the defenders.
The wet conditions may have played a factor in that. As the Cougars are back under center. Oh, and they fumble
Joe
it.
Bean.
But he's able to jump back on it, and that'll be the last play of the quarter with your Parkersburg Big Reds leading the Capital Cougars 7-0. And we'll take a short break for the end of the period.
And we are back at Stadium Field for the start of the second quarter. The Cougars just picking up a fumble by Chris Rao 2 plays ago.
And then fumbling it themselves, but quarterback was able to jump back on it. Brings up 2nd and 11. Handoff goes to right outside. He's got some running room, bounces back out, finds a hole. It's brought down at the 45-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Cougars. 3rd and 4.
Gain of 7 on the run by Wright, who's averaging 6 yards. So a little better than his average.
Early in the game, it looks like Wright will be getting the majority of the carries tonight. As you would expect, averaging over 120 yards a game for the sophomore. His quarterback goes in motion, calls his own numbers, runs over Big Red defender and just runs out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. That's enough for the 1st down.
That was a nice run by junior quarterback Joe Bean.
Number 43, Jason Phillips, had a beat on him, but quarterback was just able to lower his shoulder and go right over top of the Big Red defender. Bring up 1st and 10 from the Big Red's 39-yard line as Cougars get into Big Red territory for the second time this evening, as their first possession ended on a missed field goal attempt.
Not a great night to play football, as it has been raining constantly for a couple hours. It was just a light drizzle a couple minutes ago, but the rain has picked back up lately.
Wright gets it back up the middle. Keeps his feet moving. It's taken down at the 31-yard line. A pickup of 8 on the play. Coming into the game, Wright's averaging over 120 yards a carry, and he's only a sophomore, Frankie.
And Derek Wenzel comes into defense for the first time tonight, as number 16, Tyler Gibson, seems to be holding his hand.
He's favoring that right hand of his as he heads to the sideline.
Might have got caught in someone's face mask during the last play.
As Cougars back in shotgun. High snap. Quarterback's able to get it down and once again calls his own number. Finds a hole. Hurdles a defender and is brought down at the 20-yard line. It'll be enough for another 1st down as an 11-yard pickup by the quarterback.
That was number 13, Joe Sharp, on the run.
Once again, it'll be interesting to see if the Big Red defense can stop the Cougar offense deep in their own territory for the second time this evening.
Last time, the Cougars got in the Big Red's territory and had to settle for a field goal attempt, which they missed.
Another high snap, but the quarterback gets it down. Handoff goes to right out the outside. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Be an 8-yard pickup. They'll bring up 2nd and 2. These big 1st down runs are making it easy for the Cougars to convert on these 2nd and 3rd down opportunities.
Gain of 6 on the run by the sophomore.
Right at his average, Frankie.
Exactly. And Wright seems to be an all-state caliber running back this year, and he's only a sophomore. High snap, and he fumbles it.
Again, but he's able to finally land on it. He goes all the way back to the 26-yard line.
When what was second and short is now third and long.
This is exactly what the Big Red defense needed.
And they really didn't do anything. It was just a mistake by the snap.
These wet conditions has already played a big variable in the game so far early.
Loss of 12 on the high snap.
Bring up 3rd and 16 for the Cougar offense.
Now on the Big Red 26.
It'll be interesting to see if they go with the run or try to pass it again. Quarterback calls their number, but
And Josh Sharp is just, his wet jersey seems to be slipping away from all the Big Red defenders.
He's finally taken down by number 43, Jason Phillips, and 34, Chris Rao. It was a good third down pickup. It gets him back down to about the 22-yard line. It'll still be 4th and long.
It'll have to be a long kick from here, so they might be going for it.
They missed the first attempt from this distance.
This time it'll be about a 39-yard field goal attempt.
As the Cougar offense stays out on the field.
And Josh Sharp, the sophomore quarterback, is out there.
He rolls out looking for a receiver, but the Big Red defense is hot in pursuit. He gets rid of it. Roush picks it off in the end zone.
Steven Roush in the end zone.
It'll be a touchback for the Big Reds, and they'll take over at their own 20-yard line.
Josh Sharp was pressured by Kyle Smith and Michael Winans, and he had to throw the ball away quick. And it was picked off by Steven Roush in the end zone, who just cut off the wide receiver.
It was a good coverage by the Big Red defense. A lot of times when an offense has that long to look for a receiver downfield, and a receiver can get open. But Roush was able to close in and pick up the interception. As the Big Reds take over at 20-yard line, Nolan back under center. Handoff goes to number 32. Christian Ong on the play. Short gain on the play. Picked up maybe a half a yard. It'll still be 2nd and 10 for the Big Reds.
And that was Steven Roush's 4th interception on the year.
Roush has had a very good game and season so far.
He's been playing very good defense. He's been playing coverage very well.
Handoff goes to number 34. He bounces outside. Picks up a yard on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 for the Big Reds. Another passing situation for the Big Reds. So far in the game, though, Nolan's been able to find his receivers and picked up 2 for 2. And the Big Reds have also been very good on their third down conversions early in the game.
Both times Coach Butchery has looked for Matt Newland to pass the ball on 3rd and long. He's capitalized on it.
Fakes the
Newland
handoff.
back to Ass again, and he's blindsided.
Sacked by the Cougar defense. Just taken down at about the 11-yard line. Big loss on the play.
That was number 35, Jake Kelly, senior linebacker for Capital. Just came from Matt Newland's backside and just hit him up top. Newland's lucky not to fumble on that play.
As number 8, Wes Ankrum goes back to punt the ball. He's going to have to be careful being this deep in their territory, having to line up in the end zone. It's a good snap. And a good kick as it gets out past the 50-yard line, received about the 47, runs out through the 50-yard line.
That's number 84, Melvin Allen.
He's brought down by a host of Big Red defenders at the 40-yard line, where the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 at the Big Red 40-yard line. It was a good kick by Ankrum, but also a good return by the Cougars. It was about a 13-yard return, the Capital Cougars. I think this possession's big for the Capital Cougars. 0 for 2 coming in, 4th-ranked team in the state, and 0 for 2 on 2 possessions, a turnover and a missed field goal. It's important that they get some points this close in Big Red territory once again. Cougars back to pass. He looks deep. He's got an open receiver, and he's taken down by Steven Roush. A good hookup. He gets down to about the 6-yard line.
Josh Sharp was the quarterback on their last possession. They seem to look back for Joe Bean on this possession.
About a 33-yard pickup on the pass.
Number 80 was the receiver on that play, Jonathan Harold.
As the Cougars go back under center. Wright gets the carry.
Bounces out to the outside.
He's brought down close to the end zone. He's taken down about inside the 1-yard line. As the ball's spotted a little outside the 1-yard line. As Wright's a little slow to get up. Looks like he's just equipment malfunction, fixing a shoe. Scary moment for the Capital Cougars, I'm sure.
Capital was excited about their sophomore phenom, Keon Wright. He will be back for 2 more years after this.
Bring up 2nd and goal for the Cougars. His fullback gets
up the middle,
and he's in for the touchdown. The ball did cross the goal line. So it is your Parkersburg Big Reds 7, the Capital Cougars 6. Still waiting for the extra point attempt, where the kicker is 10 for 11 for the year, so he's pretty reliable.
But the Big Reds have also blocked a couple PAT attempts this year. They would love to get one right here. Big Red Senior would love to get a hand on the ball in his final game at Stadium Field.
Swing the momentum back on the Big Red side would be nice. It's a low snap.
And he has to run it, and he's
passing.
passing.
Pass. Oh,
and Kyle Smith deflects it away, just what the Big Reds needed for a swing of momentum.
As now it's your Parkersburg Big Reds 7, Capital Cougars 6. Big Reds leading the 4th-ranked Cougars. Still early in the game, but Coach Buttry's got to be impressed with his team's motivation and outgoing on the field right now.
The wet ball in the wet field has to be a factor on the snaps and the kicks, as they fumbled 3 snaps on the night now.
That's only the 2nd bad snap, though. One high, and that one was way low. It looks like it scooted across the pretty well new Stadium Field turf 3 times. Luckily, it was able to get back to the holder, and they had a chance, but the play was broken up, like you said, by number 75, Kyle Smith. And it was a good job by the Big Red special teams to be able to react that quickly. As Derek Wenzel's set back deep to receive the kick, I'm sure he's itching for another chance to run one back.
Capital's going to try not to kick to Dangerous Derek on this one, but he might want to get his hands on it and try and return another one back.
As the rain continues to pour,
Zach McGee, the other return man, deep for the Big Reds.
And it's a short kick. Plays it on the bounce.
Picked up.
Wenzel will pick it up at the 20. Looks for some more space. Bounces out wide, but it looks like his gap's going to be closed. And he just runs it out of bounds. Knocked out at about the
26-yard line.
26-yard line. He'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Big Reds. It was a good return. Didn't look like there was nothing going to happen, but he was able to bounce it outside and pick up about 7-8 yards on the return after a short kick. As you can see, they're not wanting to kick it to Wenzel as they kick it on the ground after seeing what Wenzel can do, running back the first kick. As Nolan, as Wenzel's back at quarterback, takes the quarterback draw up the middle, runs out to about the 34, 35-yard line.
They will try not to kick to Derek Wenzel, as he has 4 kick return touchdowns this season.
Wenzel's lined up at quarterback on that last possession. Picked up 8 yards, calling his own number on the quarterback sneak. He's still in at quarterback. As the Big Reds do have a 2-quarterback system with Nolan and Wenzel. As Ong gets the carry up the middle, he's taken down at about the 42-yard line, where that'll be enough for a Big Red first down.
8-yard gain on the play.
As the Big Reds continue to move the chains. Wenzel, an all-around player, of course, as we all know, plays wingback on offense, but also gets in snaps at quarterback. And on this possession, Coach Buttrey felt that Wenzel would go in at quarterback, and they've already picked up one first down. Handoff goes to 32, Ong. Gets it to about the 45-yard line.
It's a pretty good decision to put Derek Wenzel at running back, because when Matt Newland's the quarterback, he don't run the ball very much. So they know he's either going to hand it off to the man in motion or the guy behind him. But with Wenzel, he could hand it off to anybody or keep it himself.
Also helps with Newland's height, able to see over the tall linemen to look for his open down the field for his receivers. As it's a bad snap, Wenzel picks it up, still on his feet, dives
for the first down, but there is a flag on the play and also a Cougar player down.
It was holding on the Big Reds, it looks like. Be the call.
Some Cougar teammates checking to see if he's all right, and they're calling for the trainers. Luckily, he's right by the Big Red sideline.
As the Big Red trainers are first out on the scene. It's always good to have these trainers this close by, have a great training staff.
And he gets up on his own, and he's calling for the trainers away. He wants to walk off on his own.
But in high school, he does have to set out at least one play after an official timeout's called. There's an offside call, so it'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Big Reds. As Newland's lined up back in shotgun. Honestly, I don't feel that this will be a passing attempt. I feel it'll be a quarterback draw. But I could be wrong as they set up the screen to Stephen Roush. He's got some blockers, but it's quickly broken up, and he's taken down.
Back to about the original line of scrimmage before the penalty.
Initially, it looked like Roush was going to have some running room, but stopped running to look for his blockers, and his blocks just deteriorated, and he was brought down by the Cougar defense.
3rd and 8. Wenzel's still playing quarterback.
It's a 4-yard pickup. Wenzel takes the snap, looks out wide, he's looking.
And Christian Ong's blocking, but he looks for a pass, and it's almost intercepted. Deflected out of bounds, looking for Stephen Roush deep down the field, and the Big Red punting unit will come out.
Wenzel was moving around the right side on a bootleg. If he would have got a little bit more loft on that ball, it would have been interesting to see if Stephen could have ran past the defender as the defender was inside of him.
Wenzel almost had some running room, but
it was quickly closed.
But a Cougar was coming right behind him, and he couldn't turn on the jets fast enough, so he threw the ball right to Stephen Roush, but a defender stepped in front of the ball and deflected it out of bounds.
As Ankrum kicks away his 2nd punt of the game. Another good booming kick. It's going to fall out of bounds about the 22-yard line, where the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 and deep in their territory for the first time this evening, with 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the clock.
Ball spotted at the 27-yard line. Bean back in shotgun. Hands it off to right.
Where he bounces outside. He breaks a few tackles, and he's brought down by number 3, Corey Ossie, who early in the game's got several tackles already.
That was a 9-yard gain on the run.
He was able to keep the Cougar running back right in bounds, so the clock continues to wind down.
A little over 2 minutes left in this half. The Cougars will receive the ball after halftime.
I'm sure the Cougars would like to put some points on the board before half to have a lead in the game. His right bounces back outside.
And
Breaks
he
a few
still
tackles.
can't be brought down, and there is a flag on the play.
As Roush tries to take him down, he's finally taken down by number 69.
Tackled about the 5-yard line, but I think this one will be coming back.
I think there might have been an illegal walk in the back on the play. Maybe that or holding. Judging by where the penalty was called, it's one or the other.
Big mistake by the Cougars.
Illegal walk in the back.
The Big Red fans that seem to show up in the rain tonight, most of them wearing ponchos or having umbrellas, they're screaming after the big run was called back.
That'll push them back in their own territory after a big pickup by Wright.
That would have been a big momentum change, as they might have tacked on some points and had the lead going into the half.
Ball will be spotted at their 45-yard line. With a minute 40 remaining in the game with a winding clock, Cougars are back in shotgun.
It's a handoff to the fullback. Runs into his own defender, and they still can't bring him down.
He keeps his feet moving, keeps pushing up.
They might
He's
make a
still on his
touchdown
feet.
like this.
He's finally down at the 40-yard line.
There's just a big dog pile in the middle for a couple seconds, but the refs finally blowed the whistle to stop all the madness on the field.
Clock will stop as they spot the ball, but referee signals for the clock to go again. With just a little over a minute remaining in the game, the Cougars need to get a little bit of spark under them and need to get the offense moving a little quickly. With only a minute remaining in the quarter. Quarterback calls his own number, bounces outside, has a hole, breaks a tackle. Finally taken out of bounds at about the 20.
54 seconds left in the quarter now.
It's taken out at 26-yard line.
Big Red's leading 7-6. Ball on the Big Red 26 with the Cougars having the ball.
Clock stopped after the defender ran quarterback out of bounds. Cougars still out of field goal range. It's important that they get some more yards if they even want to get 3 points out of this possession. As the handoff goes to right.
Runs out of bounds around the 20 or the 22-yard line.
There's a 4-yard pickup. Stops the clock with 49 seconds. Bring up 2nd and 7.
Big Reds really need to stop the run right here.
Cougars still have 2 timeouts remaining, so even if the Cougar offensive player cannot get out of bounds, they still have 2 timeouts remaining. High snap. Quarterback just falls on it back at the 35-yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
Joe Bean, the quarterback, is 6'6". It must be a really high snap. It's above his hands, too.
We'll have to wait and see the flag. There's a flag on the play. I'll have to wait to see the call.
It's a penalty on the offense. That'll take them back to about the 27-yard line. Or the 34, sorry, big penalty.
That pushes them back out of field goal range with 43 seconds remaining and a 3rd and 18. As the Cougars take a timeout to discuss their strategy, we'll go ahead and take a timeout along with them.
And we're back at Stadium Field. 43 seconds left in the first half. Big Reds leading the Cougars 7-6.
A big 3rd down for the Capital Cougars if they want to put any points on the board before half.
It's 3rd and 18. Let's see if Capital can capitalize on this drive.
As the Cougars are back in shotgun, it'll be interesting to see if there's another high snap. Good snap. He's looking deep. Has a receiver.
Brings it down with one hand.
He's unable to hold down. Big Red defender was able to hit him. Otherwise, he was going to bring that down with the one hand. Very athletic play out there by Wright.
That might have been on SportsCenter's top 10.
It certainly was on my top 10, Frankie.
Mine too, Jacob.
So with 36 seconds remaining in the game, or in the first half, the Cougars have a 4th and 18, but this deep in Big Red territory, I think they're going to go for it. Why not try to get one in the end zone? And that's exactly what I think they're going to do. Got 2 receivers split out wide.
Well, from right here, it'd be a 52-yard field goal. I don't think they have the power to kick it that far.
A deep pass.
And he has a man wide
But
open.
he drops the ball.
Derek Wenzel lays a big hit on his back to where he can't catch it. Saves a possible touchdown for the Cougars and might secure the first half lead.
It was certainly enough for a first down, Frankie.
Don't be mixing my first and last name together.
So Big Reds take over, 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
29 seconds left.
No one's back in at quarterback as the Big Reds take a timeout. No one must not like to see what they saw on the field. Maybe Coach Buttrey, seeing the lead that he has right now, might want to take a few chances down the field. Still have 2 timeouts remaining. Now 1 after that timeout, though.
It has been raining non-stop this evening, but there's still some Big Red fans out here, and the Big Red cheerleaders still showing their school spirit for their final game here this season.
Yeah, I don't think the rain's going to let down this evening, Frankie.
Me either.
But it's a good night. Last night for the senior football players here at PHS. Leading the 4th-ranked Cougars. They couldn't want it any other way right now.
Capital only has one more game after this, and if they lose tonight, that'll lower their ranking significantly. And they don't want to go into the playoffs with a lower rank, having to play a high-ranked team, such as George Washington, who they've already lost to this year.
And the first game of the season.
19-7.
Oh, flag on the play. Probably man in motion for the Big Reds, and it was. That'll make it 1st and 15. Pushing the ball back. I think the Big Reds will honestly just run the ball, run this clock out, head into the locker room with a 7-6 lead.
I'm sure Coach Butcher would like to go into halftime with a 1-point lead, but he'd like to see it higher.
Any coach would like to see a higher score against a Cougar offense like this that can score with right in the backfield so quickly.
Christian Ong up the middle.
And he gets out to about the 35-yard line. As the clock continues to wind down. And the Big Reds head over to the sideline. And the other players start heading towards the locker room. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. And that'll do it for the first half with your Parkersburg Big Reds 7, Capital Cougars 6.
Capital will be returning the kickoff after halftime.
We'll be back after the band performs right before the kickoff to begin the second half. Welcome back to Stadium Field with just a little under a minute remaining before the second half start of play. Capital will be receiving. Go ahead and review the first half, Frankie.
All right, here is some Parkersburg High School stats for the first half. Christian Ong has 31 yards on 7 attempts. Chris Rao, 14 yards on 4 attempts. Derek Wenzel has 13 yards on 4 attempts. And Matt Newland has been sacked for 9 yards. PHS has 5 first downs. They have 16 rushes for 49 yards. They have 33 passing yards to Capital's 36. And total offensive yards is 82 on 20 plays.
For the Capital Cougars, led by sophomore phenom Keon Wright, 13 carries, 79 yards with a long of 14, averaging a little over 6 yards a carry, just like his season average. Josh Sharp had 5 carries for 35 yards, along with James Woods with 4 carries and 19 yards. Passing, Joe Beanie was 2 of 5 for 36 yards, but threw an interception in which Stephen Roush was able to collect on that. Capitals had 9 first downs, but have been virtually unable to capitalize on any of their field position, only cashing in on 1 touchdown. Rushing their 25 attempts for 122 yards. Once again, the Big Red defense giving up over 100 yards in the first half. And Keon Wright knocking on the doorstep of 100 yards for the game for himself. The only 2 scores of the game came from Derek Wenzel on an opening 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. For Capital, James Wood, the fullback, had a 2-yard run with 5:10 remaining in the second quarter. But the extra point, a bad snap, led to a
incomplete attempt
on the attempt, and leaves us with the score: Parkersburg High 7, Capital Cougars 6. As the captains go out to center field to meet, of course, Capital receiving second half. What do you think is important for the Big Red defense coming out here?
Well, the Big Reds really need to stop the Cougars here because they've been moving the ball down the field easily the past few drives. They just had a couple mistakes like penalties and a couple bad snaps that stopped them from finding the end zone. What do you think the keys for the Big Reds are on offense?
On offense, they need to pretty much continue what they're doing. The running game has been there, but they've had losses. I think they need to mix some more passes in there. They've converted. Matt Newland's 2 for 2 with 2 big-time third-down conversions. I think it's important that the Big Reds come out and pass the ball a little bit more. Matt Newland threw 40 passes past 2 games. I think he needs to at least have maybe 5 this half to boost the Big Reds to a victory.
Matt Newland's been doing pretty well on pass attempts. He's 2 for 2 for 29 yards, both coming on third-down conversions.
But the Big Red defense has to stop Keon Wright in the second half. They've contained him to 79 yards without scoring a touchdown so far. But with his speed, 79 yards, you got to be thinking he's going to be capitalizing sometime in the second half and scoring a touchdown.
He's staying with his season average of 6.1 yards per carry.
As Jeff Lance gets set for the kick. It's interesting not to see Keon Wright back deep to return the kicks. With his kind of speed, you would figure that he'd be back there for some of the kicks. But instead, 3 Capital returners are back. And here we are, underway in the second half. A low lining kick, fielded at the 10-yard line. He's met by number 42.
Zach Coakley, a senior on the tackle.
He's brought down, and the Cougars will take over 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. There's a 19-yard return on the play for the Cougars. Now it'll be a good time to see if the Big Red defense can stop Keon. It'll be a true test to the D-line and their rushing defense.
Well, Keon isn't a power running back. He uses a lot of stutter steps and juke moves to get past his defenders. He even cuts back across the field to find those few yards.
Handoff goes up the middle where he jukes his way for a moderate gain on the play. Picked up about 4 in the play. That'll be another second down. Once again, though, what's 3 4-yard gains equal? 12 yards, first down every time. And he just keeps that up. Capital's in good shape as it's 2nd and 6. Handoff goes right up the outside. Stays on his feet, jukes. Finally brought down at the 41-yard line, which will be enough for the first down as an 8-yard pickup on the play.
Wright may only be 5'8" and 180 pounds, roughly the same size as West Virginia star running back, Noah Devine, and he's still really hard to bring down at that small size.
Who had a big game last night, but there was a flag on the play getting back into the game. There's a flag on the play, and I do believe it's against Capital, which take away the first down. That'll make it 2nd and 9. Push the Cougars back.
$11 minutes and 14 seconds left in the third quarter.
Be 2nd and 10. Once again, Capital has had a good moving offense, but penalties and mistakes. Couple bad snaps, haven't been able to capitalize on Capital's great rushing attack.
For the 4th-ranked team, they shouldn't be having so many mistakes. The Big Reds have only had 1 or 2 mistakes this entire night.
Another low snap. He's able to hand it off, but
Keon Wright is still going, but he's brought down for a loss.
Number 42 is on the tackle, Zach Coakley, a senior. Certainly not the first time we said his name tonight, Frankie.
Well, Zach hasn't seen much playing time in recent years, but his senior year he's been seeing a lot of playing time.
Lost 7 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 17. Another passing situation for the Cougars. Fake the reverse, looking deep. It's underthrown, well short of the receiver. It'll bring up 4. Capital will be punting away their first possession of the second half. Good defensive stand for the Big Reds.
Joe Bean caught the Big Red defenders off guard as Coriosi wasn't looking for the ball when he was defending his man, but luckily the pass was thrown short.
As it's interesting, number 34, Chris Rouse back to return the kick instead of star returner Derek Wenzel.
Oh, almost blocked.
He's able to get away at decent kick. Good stiff arm, but he's not able to get past the defender. He's brought down by a few other Cougar defenders, where the Big Reds will take over and Cougar territory at the 48-yard line.
Jason Phillips almost blocked the punt on the play.
What do you think the Big Reds need to do here on offense?
I think the Big Reds need to run the ball, but show some play-action pass to catch the Cougars off guard here.
They do have 2 talented receivers who both just actually ran to the sideline, and Stephen Roush and Wes Ankrum.
You should expect Derek Wenzel to be in motion here. Oh, but it was Chris Rao instead.
But Ong gets it up the middle, gets down to the 45-yard line.
Gain of 3 on the carry.
Bring up 2nd and 7.
Just under 10 minutes now left in the third quarter.
As Rouse comes back in. In weeks past, we've seen the Big Reds run the ball when Wenzel was back. Past 2 weeks, they've thrown the ball a lot. But before that, they relied mostly on the run, and they snuck that play-action pass in, and they're able to burn a lot of defenses. Looks like they might be using the same thought tonight. As Wenzel gets the carry, bounces outside.
Cuts back to the inside, where I thought he saw a hole, which closed quickly with Cougars.
Taking down about 42, 43-yard line. It is maybe a 2-3 yard pickup on the play. Still bring up 3rd and 4 on the play.
9 minutes now left in the third quarter.
It's a good stiff arm by Wenzel to get away from the defender, but just too many Cougar defenders closed in. Be interesting to see if the play action pass is snuck in here or if they decide to run the ball.
Ankrum hands it off to Ong.
He plows his way down close to the first down marker. It'll be close.
They might have to bring the chains out to see this one.
Have to wait to see the spot of the ball. It looks like It's 4th down. It'll be 4th and 1, a very short one on the play. As Newland stays in, looks like the Big Reds are going to take a risk here going up against the 4th-ranked team in the state. They got the lead. They got the momentum. Coach Buttrey feels. Get his offensive line, get a push on the ball. Be interesting to see if there's a quarterback draw with Newland's size.
They hand it off to the powerful fullback Christian Ong, who gets the first down.
Yes, he's got just enough for the first down. They didn't need much, but he was able to push his feet through and get the first down. It was a good call by Coach Buttrey on the sidelines, who in the past 3 years has already won 2 state championships, so you know he's doing something right on the sidelines.
The first state championship, he also won the Coach of the Year during their undefeated season.
And then the following year going 11-1. Well, it'll bring up 1st and 10 for the Big Reds in Cougar territory at the 37-yard line. With Phillips in motion, Phillips gets the handoff, bounces back outside, but he's met by a host of tacklers.
Chris Rao on the carry.
Picked up 2 on the play. I'll bring up 2nd and 8 for the Big Reds.
Little over 7 minutes now left in the 3rd quarter. Rao in motion. Hands.
Fakes the handoff.
Fakes the handoff.
Wenzel looks for some blockers. Doesn't find any. Finally bounced outside into the sidelines. Looks like he may have got a little bit on the play. They'll mark him down at the line of scrimmage, where it'll be 3rd and 8. Wenzel stays in at quarterback, though.
Ball on the 35-yard line of the Cougars.
3rd and 8. Realistically, more of a passing situation, wouldn't you say, Frankie?
Yes, but with Derek Wenzel playing quarterback, they haven't used him to pass much. Looks to be a quarterback draw, and he's
able to outlude the defenders.
Shows a stutter step, and he's brought down about the
31-yard line. There's a 4-yard pickup. It'll still bring up 4th down, but a little bit more of a manageable 4th down conversion here for the Big
Cougars
Reds.
have an injured player on the field.
A lot of times the player reverses fields like that, and coaches on the sidelines are just grinding their teeth, hoping not for a bigger loss, but Wenzel's able to turn that around into a 4-yard gain, which makes it more of a reasonable 4th down conversion.
And whenever the player switches back across the field like that, sets up a lot of blindside blockers, which might have happened to the injured Cougar player right there.
Obviously, in high school football, a team can win any day. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now with the Big Reds leading the 4th-ranked team in the state.
It'll be 4th and 4 here on the play. And it's too close to punt, but too far to kick a field goal here. It'd be a 48
back
attempt.
in at quarterback.
And back to pass, and he's looking for Ankrum on the
he
outside
just
route.
overthrows him a little bit. You know, if he would have brought that down, I would say that was enough for the first down. With these wet conditions, might have played a big role in that play. That's a catch that you normally see Ankrum haul in.
He had a dive for that ball, but it still bounced off his hands, and with the ball being wet, it just couldn't stick like it usually does.
So the Cougars will take over in their own territory at their 31-yard line. Will be 1st and 10. See if this Big Red defense can step up like they did all night long so far.
Joe Bean under center.
Handoff goes to right.
Right. Up the middle.
Stays on his feet. Breaks a couple tackles. Gets down to the 45-yard line. 14-yard pickup for the first down by Wright.
Doubles his average on the night and season.
Wright's having a big game so far. That pushes him close to 100 yards for the game already.
Wright not only has a big night, but he's also had a big season coming in the game with over 1,000 yards rushing.
As the handoff goes to the fullback up the middle, breaks a couple tackles, bounces outside. Only 2 men to beat.
Look at that big man run down the field. And
as Roush knocks him out of bounds at about the See where they spot him. Looks like they're running him back a little farther. They'll spot him out at the 24-yard line into Big Red territory here, Frankie. Exactly what the Big Red defense did not need to happen right there.
Well, the Big Reds were expecting the pitch to right on the outside, but instead Joe Bean handed it off to the fullback up the middle and just bounced out to the outside, and Big Red defenders couldn't catch up with the big fullback.
Handoff goes to right, jukes a few defenders, bounces outside, back inside, finally dragged down at the 14-yard line.
Wright is just the best running back I've seen here play at Stadium Field this year.
That's enough for a first down once again.
It takes three or four. It takes the fourth defender to bring him down usually. You hardly ever see the first tackler bring him down.
That'll be first and down for the Cougars. Wright gets the handoff once again. Finds some space out wide.
Good blocking, and he gets tackled around the 3-yard line.
Really, it'll be close to another first down. Might have picked it up right there on that play. Depends on the spot of the ball. And it is first down, first and goal for the Cougars.
Let's see if the Big Reds can have a big goal line stand here.
This is the Cougars' fourth possession in Big Red zone territory, but they've only been able to capitalize once. A couple bad snaps and a couple penalties to set him back. Wright gets the handoff, but he's met at the line of scrimmage by number 75.
Kyle Smith.
For the Big Reds. It was a good hit to take down the tricky Wright on the play.
Well, Wright is a big yard running back. He's not too good at the short yardage plays, but they will keep handing him the ball in this red zone.
Their early touchdown went to their fullback this close in the end zone as they
hand
hand it off to him
again. And he runs up the middle untouched.
That'll put the Cougars up 12-7. Let's see if they can convert on this extra point as they failed the first extra point attempt on a bad snap.
Four minutes and 41 seconds left in the third quarter. Big Reds really need a score if they want to get back in this game.
It'll be interesting to see if they go for two here and it looks like they're going to. After the bad snap on the extra point attempt earlier, they're just going to go for two, try to get 14 on the board. Handoff goes to the fullback once again, and he plows his way into the end zone. Little extracurricular activity going on down in the end zone. Referees are quick over to break it up, though. As the Capital Cougars regain the lead, 14, Parkersburg High 7. As we get set for the kickoff, Wenzel will be back deep once again, and as we know, the 99-yard return for the opening kickoff of the game, the Cougars haven't kicked it to him since.
Well, the Big Red offense really hasn't been moving too well, so they really need Dangerous Derek to return this one back too.
Yeah, how many has he ran back so far this season?
He has ran 4 back this season.
Which leads the team. He's their main returner. He'll be back there with number 4, McGee. As we get set for the kick.
Cougars looking at their first lead of the night. They're looking really pumped up on the field.
As you can see, their crowd's very enthusiastic after regaining the lead. And here's the kick. It'll be taken on a bounce by Wenzel, where he looks for some blocks, stutter steps, taken down at the 23-yard line, where the Big Reds will take over, 1st and 10.
The Cougars are looking really excited out there. Guess they are finally realizing that they are the 4th-ranked team in the state, and they need to get it together.
Wenzel got up, favoring his right knee a little bit. Do you think his injury might be flaring up?
No, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll keep going back out there tonight and showing what he was before his injury.
As Newland's back in at quarterback, and he's under center. Handoff goes to Ong, where he's met quickly by Capital defenders. Short gain on the play. It'll bring up second down.
The Big Reds really need a big play here because the momentum is on the Capital Cougars side right now. They need to get the momentum back on their side if they want to score another touchdown and keep this game tied.
It's like a referee timeout on the side. Not sure what he's doing. I think he's looking to reset the game clock. And we're back underway. No one's back under center.
Back to pass.
Looks out wide for Ankrum, but Ankrum's quickly taken down.
It's about a 4-yard gain on the reception there.
It'll bring up third and long. Another passing situation for the Big Reds as Roush comes in, the main target for Newland this far in the season.
And Derek Wenzel comes out. Since his first game back from his injury, he has not been getting as many rushes as he was before he got hurt. Big Reds, 2 wide receivers out, and Newland under shotgun. And it's a short snap, and he fumbles it, and he falls on it.
Looks like he was able to jump back on top of it. Looks like the Big Reds will be able to regain possession, but it'll bring up fourth down, and they'll have to punt the ball away.
Looks like Newland took his eye off the ball just for that little second for the while he was looking for the Cougar blitz on the play.
Newland, a big quarterback at 6'6", just was unable to handle the snap down at his knees. Was unable to bring it back up. As the Cougars put 2 back deep, as Ankrum gets set to kick another. The Big Reds need another booming kick by Ankrum. Good snap. Nearly blocked once again. A nice
Kyle
booming
Smith
kick.
Missed a block.
As the ball is down at the 45-yard line, where the Cougars will take over in their own territory, but once again, knocking on the doorstep of the Big Red territory. This would be a good time to talk about crosstown rival Parkersburg South leading on the away, leading 21-13 against Robert Seabird. One more win be putting the Patriots into the state playoffs, I do believe.
Bean hands off to Wright, who knocks his own lineman down, showing some power.
Gets down, makes it down to about the 51-yard line. It was another nice pickup by Wright, who's had a lot of good carries so far tonight. I'm not sure on the exact stat, but he is definitely over 100 yards for the game. Well, that'll bring up second and 4 as a 6-yard gain on the play.
Ball on the 49-yard line of the Big Reds.
Handoff goes out to number 13. Knocks over another Patriot defender, but is able to be dragged down.
And it's going to be 3rd and 2. Jason Phillips on the tackle.
It'll be 3rd and short. As it looks like the whole Big Red defense was caught off guard and jumped off. It'll be a 5-yard penalty and give the Cougars an automatic first down now. Minute 24 remaining in the game with in the third quarter with a winding clock.
1 minute and 18 seconds now left in the third quarter. Ball on the Big Red 42.
As Wright gets it, jukes outside, looks for a hole, breaks the tackle, gets down about the 33-yard line.
Brought down by number 3, Coriosi.
Coriosi, just a sophomore, has had a lot of tackles so far tonight.
He's been playing a lot this year as a sophomore.
Starting on the defensive end at free safety.
One of the few sophomores playing for the Big Reds this year.
With 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Handoff goes to right. Breaks it outside. A good block, but he's caught by his foot where he's taken down by number 1, Steven Roush on the play. Gets down to about the 30-yard line, which will be enough for the first down.
Without him holding on to his foot for dear life, that might have been a big gain or possibly even a touchdown.
Yeah, with that amazing speed by Wright, anytime he's able to cut it outside, it's always a risk of 6 on that scoreboard. Well, with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter, this should be the last play of the quarter. Wright gets it, stutter steps, stays on his feet, knocked down at about the 31-yard line. Maybe lost a yard on the play as it winds down inside 5. And that'll be the end of the third quarter, where your Parkersburg Big Reds are down to the Capital Cougars 14-7. And we'll go ahead and take this time to get a few words from our sponsors. And welcome back to Stadium Field, where the 4th-ranked Capital Cougars are here at Stadium Field leading 14-7 with the ball in Big Red territory as we get underway for the fourth quarter.
That's Josh Sharpen's shotgun.
He calls his own number, but he's met by Big Red defenders, eventually dragged down by number 22, Michael Winans on the play.
Tonight, whenever
third down. Sorry, Frankie.
It's all right. Well, I've noticed tonight whenever Josh Sharp is in at quarterback, he usually takes the run for himself, but whenever Bean is in quarterback, he either hands it off to Wright or throws the ball.
Well, it'll bring up 3rd and 6, and this is an important conversion for the Big Red defense. They need to hold them there if they have any chance of wanting to stay in this game. As a Capital calls a timeout, knowing how important this third down conversion is, we'll go ahead and take a timeout along with them. And welcome back once again to Stadium Field, where the Cougars will be 3rd and 6, deep in Big Red territory, already leading 14-7, just underway in the fourth quarter.
Big Reds really need to stop right here, or another Cougar mistake, which has happened a lot in Big Red territory tonight.
Especially on these third downs. A lot of bad snaps early so far in the game. Wright gets the handoff, bounces outside, stays on his feet. It looks like he's got enough, plenty for the first down. He's taken down at about the 20-yard line. They were able to move the chains right along there, as Wenzel was in on that defensive, trying to get the defensive stop there, but ran it to the opposite end that he was on. Where it will be 1st and 10 for the Cougars on the Big Red 16-yard line.
Bean under center. Hands off
Snap
to Wright.
goes to Wright. Stays on his feet, finally dragged down by a Big Red defender inside the 5-yard line. Another first down will be 1st and goal for the Cougars. He's down at the 4-yard line.
Corey Ossie on the tackle.
Once again, Wright hasn't made his way into the end zone tonight, but their fullback has already had 2 touchdowns so far tonight. Be interesting to see this close if they hand it off to him. He's been able to pretty much get in there untouched.
Well, Wright has over 1,000 yards rushing on the season and only 12 touchdowns.
Handoff goes to Wright. Jukes. Not much going as he's met by plenty of Big Red players. Finally, they blow the whistle dead after he's just backpedaling all the way out. It'll bring up 2nd down. The ball on the 3-yard line. He picked up a yard on the play before they blew him dead. It'll be 2nd and goal.
There is a flag on the play.
That was a face mask on the Big Reds.
Half the distance to the goal line and replay of first down.
Now pushing it inside the 2-yard line, where definitely capable fullback for the Cougars will be able to punch this in, most likely.
Big Reds really has no one of the size to stop that big fullback, but they hand to Keon Wright, who dives for the end zone.
Makes it in virtually untouched, as the Cougars jump up to a 20-7 lead with just under 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. At a time like this, the Big Reds cannot get down on themselves on the sidelines. They're still in this game. There's still plenty of time for them to come back, and they just need a few big plays to turn this game around.
There's almost 10 minutes left in this fourth quarter. And the Big Red only down by 2 possessions. They're still in this game. They only need to score on this drive to have the momentum on their side.
A good snap. Was able to get the kick down, and it's good. So it'll be Capital Cougars 21, Parkersburg High 7. Once again, the dangerous kick return team of the Big Reds. Always dangerous. Dangerous Derek back there. They need a big return out of Derek this time.
Yeah, they would like to get it on the Cougars' side of the field or find the end zone. Coach Butcher would love that.
As I'm sure that's what he's telling his players over there on the sidelines. He's trying to encourage them. They're still in this game. They shouldn't be looking down. 2 possessions, that's not much. They can regain that easily.
They had the lead earlier on the Cougars tonight, and they have the potential to do it again.
Yeah, they led the first half 7-6. As the Cougars get set to kick. It'll be interesting to see if it's another squid kick or a kick back there. They're always fearful to kick it to Derek.
Even on the squib kicks, it always seems to find Derek Wenzel's hands.
He's always able to get a moderate gain, too, as he tries to get loose in this cold, rainy weather. Good kick. Wenzel will pick it up on the bounce at about the 5-yard line. Looks ahead for some blocking, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Finally, just taken down by a couple Cougar defenders. Brought down about the 18-yard line, Frankie. Big Reds will take over?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, where it'll be 1st and 10. The Big Reds don't need to really change their game plan. They need to just stick with the game plan, keep with the running, and mix in some passes. This isn't a hurry time. They're not in trouble. Just down 2 possessions. Still plenty of time remaining in the game. They don't need to be frantic, but they do have Wenzel in at quarterback.
Flag on the play.
Potentially, I would say it was probably an illegal player in motion on the Big Reds. Oh, encroachment on the defense. That means it'll be 1st and 5 for the Big Reds.
Might be what the Big Reds needed.
Just to spark a little energy on the sidelines and out there on the field. Once again, though, Wenzel's still back under center. Be interesting to see if he stays at quarterback for the entire possession this time, as he may have jumped him off sides again. Runs the option, pitches it out. Picks up a couple on the play as Wenzel hobbles up. He is favoring that right knee favorably. As he winces in pain, it'll be interesting to see if he comes out or if he stays in. Looks like he's going to stay in. Wenzel's a very tough kid.
He really wants to stay in this game tonight. It's his first game back from his injury. Wants to show some leadership as he's playing quarterback right now.
It might have just been a little bit of a dead leg with this cold weather and already injured leg.
And he's back to pass to Steven Roush.
Gets out to about the 30-yard line, which is close to the, yes, it is a first down. It's a 4-yard pickup on the play. Another good pickup for Roush. Roush, always a favorite target for this Big Red offense. Wenzel's still in at quarterback. He still looks a little limp on that right leg, Frankie.
Yeah, you might see him doing a little more passing or handing the ball off instead of running on it then.
Hands it off to Ong. Makes it back to the line of scrimmage. Not much else other than that. Bring up 2nd and 10. Newland comes back in. Obviously, probably coming in as quarterback as Wenzel still comes off the field limping. But trainer doesn't come over to look at him. Looks like he's just going to walk it off on the sidelines.
Derek Wenzel is a tough player. He could have had a season-ending injury to his knee, but he really wanted to come back, and he practiced all this week.
Couple lead blocks, gets the man out, gets down at about the 39-yard line where he'll be close to a first down, but it'll be about 3rd and a yard on the play. A good, not sure who was out there lead blocking, but it was a good block by the Big Red offensive lineman. He's able to roll out, a little hitch and go, and just set a nice block to be able to spark that 9-yard gain.
And Derek Wenzel tried to go out on the field and get a play in, but Coach Butcher wouldn't let him and sent out Jason Phillips instead. To hand off to Ong up the middle, who might have got the first down, but I don't.
Looks like by the spotting, I'd say it'd have enough, but it'll be close. Might need to bring out the chains for a measurement here.
And it is a first down.
Picked up just enough, Frankie. So that might be what the Big Red offense needs, but with just 7 minutes remaining, now it's time for they need to get in a little bit more of a hurry-up mode.
Yeah, they spent 2 minutes on this drive already and only have got 2 first downs.
Fakes the handoff, but he's taken down and sacked. That was Newland slow to get up as well.
That was a play-action pass, but they couldn't fool number 32, Kevin Lee of the Cougars on that play, and he blitzed the backfield and sacked Matt Newland on the play for a 6-yard loss.
It's the second sack of the evening. I do believe it's 2 sacks for minus 15 yards. As Newland's back in shotgun, obviously probably going to have to start getting back to the passing game. He rolls out wide, looking deep, has a man and nearly picked off.
Will they say it was picked off?
No, it was dropped. He had it in his hands, but when he hit the turf, he was unable to keep a hold of it. Never did have full possession of it.
And it will be 3rd and 16, so the Cougars should be watching out for the pass right here. The Big Reds really need to convert here so they can get back into this game.
This conversion could be the game, really, Frankie, if they don't pick it up here.
And it's a bubble screen to Christian Ong, who's tackled as soon as he catches the ball.
The 34-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down and
16. Big Reds will send out the punting unit. Big Reds really need to force the Cougars to a 3-and-out here or a quick turnover if they want a quick score.
They do need to get this ball kicked away kind of quick, though. They need to get this snap off. Good snap. Barely able to get the punt away once again.
It's a high punt, and it bounces off a Big Red player's foot.
I think they may be saying it was off a Capital player.
And it bounced out of the 10-yard line. Nice punt.
Looks like they say it hit a Big Red defender, so it'll be marked down where it hit him at about the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Capital Cougars. With just 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, the Big Reds need a 3-and-out here, obviously.
Well, the way the Cougars have been moving the ball tonight, it will be a pretty hard task to do.
Especially with the sophomore phenom Wright in the backfield.
And
Handoff
also
goes to the
their
fullback up
big
the middle.
fullback.
He's taken down by number 3, Coriosi, who once again has been in a lot of the tackles for the Big Reds tonight.
Big Reds really don't have much size to stop number 36, James Woods, who's 5'11 and 206 pounds.
He picked up 8 on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 2. Obviously, that is exactly what the Big Red defense did not need.
Well, the Cougars have a very nice rushing tandem in the backfield as they have the speed with Keon Wright and the power with James Woods.
As Wright gets it and bounces outside, finds a hole, breaks a couple tackles. He's off to the races against Ankrum. Number 40's out wide and he just makes it into the end zone.
Keon Wright, the best running back to step foot on Stadium Field this year.
A 55-yard touchdown
He just can't
run.
be stopped. At least 5 Big Red players touched him on that play, but they still couldn't bring him down.
But there was a flag on the play. It'll be interesting to see if it looks like it's going to come back. Holding's the call.
Oh, that's a devastating penalty. That's happened to the Cougars all night.
For the 4th-ranked team in the state, they cannot be making these kinds of mistakes this late in the season. The Big Reds, coming into this game, not ranked nearly as high as these Cougars are, but have came out to play and kept this game within striking range where they could win.
Well, time's the Big Red's biggest enemy right now as it's 2nd and 2 on the Cougar 36-yard line with 4 minutes and 39 seconds left. The Big Reds are down by 14.
As the Cougars are in shotgun, but they'll most likely run a draw play out of this like they've done all night.
And they do.
He gets back up, maybe a pickup of 2 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 on the play.
Sorry, that was 2nd and 11, not 2nd and 2 on that.
Yeah, the
last
penalty
play.
pushed it back 10 yards farther, Frankie. Still, though, it'll be a long 3rd down conversion. Big Reds desperately need to stop these Cougars on this possession. High snap, quarterback gets it down, finds running room. He's gotten more than enough for a 1st down, and he's knocked out of bounds by number 3, Coriosi, where they say it's going to be a late hit, looks like, by the flag thrown. Initially, I thought he couldn't stop his momentum. He'd already wrapped him up, so initially I thought he was just taking him out of bounds. But apparently the referee saw it differently, and looks like they're going to mark him for a personal foul. That'll be 15 yards tacked on at the end of the run, which puts the Cougars back into Big Red territory with just under 4 minutes remaining in the game.
It's a big penalty, 15-yarder, after the big gain.
So it'll be 1st and 10 with just under 4 minutes left.
Sharpen shotgun.
Another draw, this time to right. That'll be 2nd and 8 for the Cougars. Once again, the Big Red enemy right now, obviously.
I think this game is out of reach for the Big Reds. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and the Cougars are charging down the field, already ahead by 2 touchdowns. Michael Winans on the tackle.
Quarterback sneak. Still brings up 3rd down, but obviously the clock being the worst enemy, the Big Reds would need a stop here and a quick score, and then an onside kick recovery with another quick score, which realistically, right now I don't see happening, but it is in the realm of possibility. But a 3rd and 1. So far in these short yardage gains, Capital's been handing it off to their fullback, and he's been able to get it with plenty of yards tacked on afterwards.
And James Woods The big fullback you're talking about is
And he does
there,
get the
and
carry.
he does get the handoff and gets the first down.
As the clock winds down, under 2.5 remaining in the game.
Clock hasn't stalled much this fourth quarter as the ball has stayed on the ground.
Yeah, the Capital Cougars have mostly just relied on the running game, which when you have a tandem of the running game that they have now with the two running backs,
James
really
Woods and Keon Wright. Keon Wright being the speed back and Woods being the power back.
As neither one's in at the moment, actually. Number 20 receives the handoff. He's all little juke move, very quick, stays on his feet. Knocked down inside the 15.
Well, it's under 2 minutes now, and the Cougars
looks like there
coach
seems to be a little yellow hanky sticking out there. Might be a flag on the play. Be interesting to see what the call is. That'll be on the offense. That'll push the Cougars back.
illegal formation was the call.
Make it 1st and 18 for the Cougars. But under 2 minutes, the Big Reds still have all 3 timeouts. Coach Buttrey over there on the sidelines is probably going to have to be using these timeouts here soon in order to stop this clock as the Cougars just keep running the ball. As they reset the ball. And the clock's back underway. If I was a Cougar right now and I was a coach on the sideline, obviously I'd be telling my quarterback to be waiting to snap the ball until the last possible second for that play clock in order to milk every bit of this game clock, as they do.
Well, the Cougars coaches know that the game is pretty well out of hand for the Big Reds, and they can start playing some younger players to get them ready for next season.
As it's under a minute and a half, only second down. Virtually, Capital can run this game clock all the way down. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Butcher decides to take a timeout, but with his team being down 21-7, I think he just wants to get out of here right now. The Big Reds have came out, though, and showed a lot tonight, being able to keep pace with the 4th-ranked team in the state and able to have a lead on them at the end of the first half.
Big Reds are playing a lot better tonight than they were last week against the 3rd-ranked team.
As he bounces outside, he's in for the touchdown, number 20. Justin Cousins on the carry for the Cougars. That'll make it the Capital Cougars 27, Parkersburg Big Reds 7. We'll wait and see how the extra point goes.
Even though Keon Wright has been playing the entire game and had over 100 yards, he did not find the end zone any tonight.
He did.
But the backup running back found the end zone in only his 3rd play.
And here's the extra point.
Oh, sorry, Keon did score once. Forgot about that play.
And it's up and good, and the Capital Cougars 28, Parkersburg High 7 with 49 seconds remaining in the game.
Well, with this loss, the Big Reds will go to 3-6 and head to Ripley next week
for their final game of the season, where after 2 back-to-back state championships, the Big Reds most likely will not be making a trip to the playoffs. But honestly, you can never count this team out. And I'm sure Coach Buttrey, looking at his team right now, sees how young they are, and he's looking forward to another good, maybe a better season next year.
3-6 was a pretty good season this year as they lost most of their starters from the past 2 state championship teams. And they started the season off pretty rough, started 0-3. Then they won 3 straight games, and then they came back here and have lost 3 straight home games.
In order to play in the conference that PHS does and to start off their first 3 games away against all teams ranked, of course it's going to be tough for them to win, and they just were unable to win. But one of them, Cabell Midland, it was a close loss. They lost in overtime by 1, but it was a thrilling game. It would have been nice to see that one bounce their way. A few losses here and there, they could have went their way, and their record could be a whole different story right now.
Zach McGee on the return gets tackled about the 29-yard line.
As the clock's down to about 42 seconds, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Butcher just runs the ball and runs this clock out.
And this is the PHS Broadcasting Group's last game here at Stadium Field. The usual cast was me, Frankie Lee, and Jared Bailey, but Jared Bailey was sick tonight and couldn't make it, so our South broadcaster, Jacob Bayhall, stepped up to the occasion and came out here tonight.
Yeah, I was glad to step in, Frankie. I've had a good time tonight. This Big Red team looks to be very good, and I'm expecting big things out of them in the coming years. As Nolan's back to pass, finds Ankrum out wide, gets down about the 41-yard line, where it'll be a first down. Clock will stop for the first down marker.
I'd also like to thank our PHS statistician, Samantha Wolf, for being here all year for every game. And for the next 2 weeks, CAS Channel 45 will be at South, and you'll hear Jacob Bayhall and Matt Lutz.
Yeah. Next week, South will be hosting John Marshall. It'll be an interesting matchup. As the pass is nearly a spectacular catch by Ankrum, but he was unable to haul in the one-handed catch. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 18 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
And the Big Red seniors fought hard tonight. It was a 21-point loss to the 4th-ranked team in the state, but they did pretty good. Some Big Red seniors stepped up and got a lot of playing time tonight.
Yeah, they matched up well against the Cougars early in the first half, but in the second half, the speed of Wright was just too much for the Big Red defensive line to handle. As another fade route, and the ball falls incomplete once again with just 12 seconds remaining in the game. This could be the last play.
Well, Matt Newland, a senior, is also looking for Wes Ankrum, another senior, for the final play of their Stadium Field careers.
Yeah, I'm sure they're trying to get a little hookup to try to get in the end zone or another big gain on this. Anything just to spark them, but it looks like they're going to run the ball. It looks like they're in a running formation here. But they do look deep for Roush, another little fade route.
Overthrown.
Clock winds down, 6 seconds remaining. 4th and 10.
Well, it's kind of hard to throw the ball tonight. It's really cold, so Matt Newland's hands might be numb, and
the rain
it's wet.
Has virtually pretty much gone now, though. That's always nice to see.
6.3 seconds left in this game.
As Nolan gets the call from the sideline.
Fourth and 10. The Big Reds going for it because they really have nothing to lose. And a little high for Wes Ankrum.
Looks like the game's going to go ahead and go to 0. And the Capital Cougars come to Stadium Field and defeat the Big Reds with a final score of your Parkersburg Big Reds 7, Capital Cougars 28. Hard-fought game for the Big Reds, just fell short.
And Capital came back from a 7-6 deficit at halftime and came back to win the game 28-7. Parkersburg Big Reds' only score coming in the opening kickoff of the game with a 99-yard kick return by Derek Wenzel.
Well, Frankie, that's all for here from Stadium Field, and look forward to seeing all you Big Red fans here next year, as CAS will bring more coverage of the Big Red football games to you live on CAS Cable. Thank you for the support. I'd like to thank you, Miss Lori Allman-Wright, our broadcasting teacher, CAS Cable, Western Sizzlin', Johnson Chiropractic, Professional Tire and Radiator Service, Piper's BP, D&T Trophies and Tees.
And this is my last game that I will be broadcasting, and I'm a senior. I won't be back next year, but I'd like to see the juniors in this class next year do a good job next year. And good luck to Jacob Bayhall and Matt Lutz in their remaining 2 games at South.
As we are both seniors as well. Well, Frankie, for Frankie Lee, I'm Jacob Bayhall, and goodbye from Stadium Field.